welcome back to my channel. I am Sahil and we are learning PHP object oriented programming concept, and this is the sixth video of this series. And in this video I'm going to show you about inheritance in PHP object oriented programming. So before going to see actual coding examples, first let's understand what is inheritance in object oriented programming. So in object oriented programming, when a class derives from another class, then it is called inheritance. A derived class can inherit some or all properties and methods of the base class. The derived class is called the child class, and the other class from which the child derived is called the parent class. Sometimes they are called subclass and superclass respectively. Now, why inheritance is used? Inheritance is mainly used for code reusability. Inheritance is very useful if you want to create several similar classes. You put the common properties and methods in the parent class and specific properties and methods in the child classes. This helps you avoid duplicate code that implements the same properties and method in many classes. Now let's see the types of inheritance in PHP object-oriented programming. So there are total 3 types of inheritance supported in PHP. So the first one is single inheritance. In single inheritance, there is only one parent and one child class is created. Now in hierarchical inheritance, there is only one parent class and more than one child class is created. Now in multi-level inheritance, derived class further inherited by another class. In that case, derived class is become a base class for another class. So to understand this in better way, let's go to coding and see example of each type. So open your code editor. Now here you can see the empty index.php file. So in this file, first let's create a base class or parent class where I will put all common properties of any person. Okay, so let's create a base class person. Now any person have common properties like name, age, gender, etc. So let's declare some member variable for this person class which are common for any person. Okay, so here I will use protected access specifier. You will know the use of protected access specifier later in this video. So let's declare. So protected $name and protected $age, protected $gender. Okay, now let's create a member function. So here I will use protected access specifier and then function keyword, then function name. So here I will keep so person. Okay, now here I will pass 3 argument. So $n for name, $a for age and $g for gender. Okay, now simply I will display the values of these member variable using this so person function. Okay, so here I will use echo and then just write name and concatenate. Now using this keyword I will access the name member variable and assign with $n. Okay, now again concatenate and use br tag for line break. Okay, so just copy the same thing here, $a, and just write age here, and here also just change age. Okay, duplicate one more time and here just write gender, and here just write gender and here g. Okay, now this is the parent class. Okay, so just write here parent class. Okay, now if we create any object of this person class and try to access any member variable or function, then we will not be able to access any of these protected member variable or protected function outside of this class. Okay, so for this we have to create a child class where we will inherit all the properties and method. Okay, so let's create a child class. So just write child class Now here I will create an employee child class. Okay, so class employee. Now this employee class will inherit all the properties and method of this person class. So here we have to write extends keyword. Okay, and then the parent class name. So our parent class name is person and this employee is the child class name. Okay, and we are extending all the properties and method of this person class. So here we have to write extends keyword. Okay, now inside this class we will declare some specific properties that is related to only an employee. Okay, now here you can see these are the member variable which are common for any person, whether he is an employee or an or a student or a manager, etc. Okay, but for an employee there are some specific properties like salary, post, etc. So here just use private keyword and then I will declare salary. Okay, salary and private dollar post. Okay, now let's create a member function, public function so employee. Okay, so employee. Now inside this function first we will display these two member variable value. Okay, so for this I will use echo and then display salary and concatenate again, and using this keyword I will just access salary and then here I will initialize with $s and then concatenate again and use br tag for line break. Just duplicate this and here just write $p and here post and here post. Okay, now here you can see I have initialized with $s and $p, so we have to pass two argument here, $s and $p here also. Okay, now you can see I have not accessing any of the function of parent class inside this child class. Okay, so let's create an object of child class first. So $ob equal to new employee. Okay, now here you can see I have kept this so employee function as public. Okay, so we can able to access this so employee function outside of any classes. Okay, so by using this object I will access so employee function, and here we have to pass two argument for salary like 50,000 and post web developer. Okay, now if we save this and go to the browser and refresh, now here you can see only salary and post is showing. Okay, but what if I want to display the name, age, gender also for this employee? So for this we have to just call this so person inside this so employee function. Okay, because this child class is extending this person class, so we are able to access any of the protected member variable or protected member function inside the child class. Okay, so let's call this function using this keyword and then just write so person here, and we have to just pass the argument here also. Now this function so employee function is taking total 5 argument, 3 of this function and 2 argument for itself. Okay, so here we have to just copy the same thing and paste here it also. Okay, now save this. Now if we just go to the browser and refresh, then here we are getting an error, uncount argument count error. Okay, because there are total 5 argument in so employee, and here we have only 2 arguments. Okay, so we have to give 3 more actual argument in so employee function. So let's write here Sahil Kumar. Now this is for name, and age, for age I will just write 24, and for gender just write male, and now this is for salary and this is for post. Okay, now if we save this and go to the browser and refresh, now here you are getting all the values like name, age, gender, salary and post. Okay, so this is the example of single inheritance. Okay, so here you can write. Okay, so this is the example of single inheritance. Here you can see I have created only one parent class and one child class, and this child class is accessing the member function of this parent class. Okay, now here you can see in person class there are 3 member variable with protected access specifier. Okay, so we can access any protected member variable in child class directly. No need to call this protected method inside this so employee method. Okay, so for this let's comment this line and call this, sorry, copy these 3 lines and just paste here. Okay, now no need to declare this function, so we can just comment this. Now if we just save this and go to the browser and refresh, then here you can see no changes, no error is showing, all the values are displaying properly. Okay, so this is the use of protected keyword. We can directly access any protected member variable inside the child class. Okay, now come back to this. Now let's see an example of multi-level inheritance. Okay, so here just write multi-level inheritance. Okay, now in multi-level inheritance there is a parent class which is inherited by a child class, and there is another child class which is inherited by this child class, and this child class become the parent class for that class. Okay, so for this let's create a class first. So class manager. Now this class manager will extend all the properties and method of this employee class. Okay, so here use this extend keyword and then write employee. Okay, now now let's declare some specific properties for manager. So specific properties for manager like HRA, TA, DA, etc. So here I will use private access specifier and then HRA, private access specifier, and then DA. Okay, now let's create a public function and then so manager, sorry, manager. Okay, so manager. Now inside this function first I will display the values of HRA and DA. So here I will use echo and then HRA concatenate, use this keyword, and then HRA equal to $H, assign with $H and concatenate again, and use BR tag for line break. Just copy this line and then here just use $D and change DA, and here also just write DA. Okay, now we have to pass this argument here $H and $D. Okay, now if we just create an object of this manager class and call this so manager function, then only we will be able to see HRA and DA values. Okay, so to show all the values like name, age, gender and salary, post also, then we have to call this so employee function inside this so manager function. So for this just use this keyword and then call so employee. Okay, so employee function. Now this so employee function have total 5 arguments, so just copy and paste here. Now here we have to also paste these arguments. Now total 7 arguments. So now let's create an object of this manager class. $OB equal to new manager. Okay, now using this $OB we will access the so manager function, and we have to pass total 7 actual arguments. So for name I will write Sahil Kumar, and for age 24, and gender male, and salary 25,000, and post web developer. Okay, now HRA 5,000 and DA like 8,000. Okay, now just save this and go to the browser and refresh. Now here you can see all the information at the manager level is showing. Okay, now if we just call the so employee method and save and go to the browser, then only employee label information is showing here. Okay, now if we try to access any protected function outside of any class, then let's see what happens. This is the protected function in parent class. Okay, so let's try to access. So if we just write so person here and just go to the browser, so here we are getting an error call to protected method person. Okay, so if we just change to public, then we are able to display the public label information only, sorry, person label information only. Okay, so here just change to so manager and say, now here we are getting the information at manager level. Okay, so try to keep function as protected or private. Only those methods and function are accessible outside of the class will be declared as public. Okay, so this, if you want to access only this so manager function outside of the class, then only create this function public, not all the functions. So we can use here protected and here also protected. By this no user can access these protected function of any other class. Only user can access this so manager class, this so manager function. Okay, so this is a simple example of multi-level inheritance. Okay, now let's see an example of hierarchical inheritance. So just write here HIERARCHIC, hierarchical inheritance. Okay, now in hierarchical inheritance there is only one parent class. Okay, and more than one child class is created. Okay, so here I can simply create a class, a student, which will extend the person class. Okay, and now a student have some specific properties like role. Okay, role and like standard. Okay, role, standard, etc. Now here just change this to standard std. Okay, and here also just write R for role and std for standard, and here also just change to std, and here role, and here just write role, and here std. Okay, Now here you can see this student class is inheriting all the properties of this person class, and this employee class is also inheriting all the properties and method of this person class. So there is only one parent class and there are two child class of this parent class, the class employee and the class student. Okay, so here we have to just use the so person function of the parent class. Okay, and there are three argument in parent class so person function. So here we have to use three argument, and here also just remove these three, oh sorry, these two argument. Okay, now here we have to just create public method for this employee class and this child class. Okay, now we have to create two object, one for this employee class and one for this student class, to access the student level information and to display the employee level information separately. Okay, so here just remove this and just create an object of employee. So here I will use emp $emp equal to new and employee. Okay, now using this emp function we will call the so employee method. Okay, so here just write so employee, and here we have to pass the actual argument name, age, gender and salary and post. So here just write name Sahil Kumar, post sorry age 24 and gender male. Okay, and salary 25,000 and post web developer. Okay, sorry. Now if we save this and go to the browser and refresh here, then we are getting the employee label information here. Okay, now let's create an object of a student. So here $st equal to new student. Okay, now by using st we will call the so student. Okay, so student method. So here I have not changed the name, so just change a student. Okay, student. Now in so student method we have to pass like name. So here you can just pass Harry Potter and age 25 and gender male and role like 4 and standard like 4. Okay, or you can say 10, anything. Okay, now if we just save this and go to the browser and refresh, then here this is the student label information showing here. Okay, you can just write here echo and use br tag for line break. So this is student level information and this is employee level information showing, and these two classes are accessing the same properties from the parent class, that is name, age and gender. Here you can see name, age and gender, name, age and gender, and some specific properties like role and standard, and here also some specific properties like salary and post. Okay, so this is all about inheritance in PHP. So I hope you liked this video. If you liked this video, then hit on like button and please subscribe my channel.